a skill tree that you never thought you can do for the game of RuneScape 3. Hello, my name is ZebIQ, and welcome to another video of RuneScape 3 skill trees. So this one is a little more different. And so the last, I think 2 or 3 we did was based on gathering artists. This, I think, was only those two. So we got combat and support left. So first off, I'm going to do combat at rated by the favorite and being the expensive. So let's jump into the categories of the combat skill. And so there are actually 9 of them. So one of them could be double in my category, okay? Yeah, and then I'll show you some tips about combat skills. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the first one. So my favorite combat skill is actually range. My least favorite is magic. The slowest is defense. The fastest is necromancing. The hardest is constitution. The easiest is attack. The cheapest is strength. And then for the expensive, there are 2 of them. Yeah, and those are prayer and summering. And I'll let you know why they actually are expensive. So let's start with something easy. And that is actually attack. So attack is based on weaponry, and when you wield a weapon with attack, it's always based on what kind of weapon you use. So you can use a two-handed weapon. There's a one-handed weapon in let's say the sun speed is actually one-handed, and then so pretty much those 2 actually are so one-handed and two-handed. If you're running a one-handed weapon, then you need a shield, and that sort of thing. So like I said, if I take out a shield, I'm able to wear it like that. And then two-handed weapon is actually a little more difficult, but you deal twice the damage. If we go to the area of this area, we'll retreat. This is actually where you can actually train your weapons and that sort of thing. And so with two-handed, is there more damage, okay? But with a one-handed and a shield, you deal less damage. And then also they do have dual wielding, which is actually your main hand and your offhand. And that's pretty much it. So yeah. So that's attack. And the strength. So the strength is like something visual based on your DPS. The higher your strength level is, the higher damage you take from enemies. So if you have, say, like a level 99 strength and use the spear, you can actually deal a lot of damage. If I go under my power, not that one, this one, the powers with the abilities and the sort of thing, go to melee, go to my strength tab. But this is where you can get some good abilities. Fury is actually a pretty good one, and assault is actually a pretty good one too. And then finally you got punish puncture. And this one is actually very powerful if you're using two-handed. Okay. Same with frenzy if you have dual wielding the two weapons in your main hand and offhand. Okay, so that's strength. Defense is actually based on what kind of armor you're wearing. So the three different kinds of powers of combat. Well, four actually, but mainly three, and those are range, magic, and melee. So if you're wearing melee armor, you are actually based on tank. And sometimes that power, but it's relayed by a tank for melee. Hey, for the other two, range and magic, they're based on DPS, like your power armor. So it's different and something. I don't think I have a tank armor for the three of them. No, I don't. I only have power armor for all three of them. Yeah, okay. So it's actually related what kind of armor set you're actually wearing. Your tank armor or your power armor. While tank armor absorbs all the damage from enemies, power armor deals damage from enemies. Indeed so. The more armor pieces you wear for power, the more damage you actually deal. And also sometimes some power armor are actually pretty good based on their abilities. Okay, for tank armor, it's a lot different, and that is because you get more health from each armor piece, and you also absorb more damage from enemies, and you take less damage indeed. So yeah, that's the way of tank and power armor. Okay, now Negamessing. This new power of skill, Negamessing, is a lot different. So if I put on something else, I'm gonna put the Death Guard and the Lantern Skull. Okay, and then go to my invent Negamessing tab. Okay, so I forgot. So I have tank armor for the Negamessing gear, and it's a little more different between power armor and tank armor. Like I said, with tank armor you actually gain a lot of health. Well, that what they do with Negamessing. It's actually reasonable. Oh, so if I use a whole set of Negamessing, let me get my Negamessing cape. There you go. So I got a combat cape, and this combat cape actually allows me to boost up my combat skills to level up one, actually. Okay, so every combat skill is level up 1 plus 1. Alright, so let's do it. So for Negamessing, it's a lot different because they are actually conjurants. They have the skeleton, the ghost, and the guardian. And then also the zombie conjurer too. They're like familiars for summoning, but a little different. And okay, now Negamessing is based on collecting souls or dealing damage with magic and that sort of thing. When you're using a very powerful attack called the Finger of Death or the Finger of Touch, you deal a lot of damage. Indeed so. There's also a ability to them that there's also some spells based on magic, okay, and those are based on the chaotic runes: spirit, bone, flesh, and blood. And each one is like visual. It's like invoke death, kills the enemy one kill. If it has 50% of health, that's actually based on bosses. Says darkness can actually dodge an attack. That's really good to take down bosses, fighting boss actually. And this one's actually pretty good too. If you don't have the shield, you can actually use the greater bone shield, and that actually unlocks all the defense abilities that you can use in combat. This one's actually quite different. It seals 50% of your health. Actually, when you actually cast a spell, else, so you like half damage, but you actually overpower her. So yeah, you can deal a lot of damage with life transfer. And I think that's actually pretty much it. I don't want to bore you guys too much. It's for like messing. So let's go to the last two, or I forgot the Constitution. So the Constitution is actually based on your health. And if you don't know, I'm running tank armor, so my health is actually double the amount. And if I go to my armor tab, it shows you kind of how much health you actually gain. So this actually is 1315. This is actually 1350. So all of them are, oh no, this one's actually 900. So it's like based on your bonus life health related. And then these two actually are 450. Okay, good to know. Now, the more health you have, the less damage you may take based on your tank armor or power armor. So yeah, I did explain that a little for strength. So I don't want to go too much with Constitution. But once you level up your Constitution, it goes up by 100 points each. So if you have 102 Constitution, you actually have 10,200 health. But they actually stop at 999. 900. No, it's 9,900. Mistake. So it's 9,900 life points. They call it like hit points actually, but it's related by health. Okay. Last two now. Okay. So prayer and summary. And let me go somewhere special for these two. Okay. Okay. So prayer and summary is actually all the expensive skills. So why they actually are expensive? Well, because of two things. Starting with prayer. Okay. So prayer is actually a pretty important skill for combat. It's more important than summary actually, because here's the thing about prayer. When you use the skill in combat, you're able to actually protect yourself from certain attacks. And if you don't know, they have two different kinds of prayer abilities. There's the curse abilities and the noble abilities. Okay, I have the curse ones, and these curse abilities are really good. But if you want to start from beginner to advance, I would say you want to do the noble abilities. Okay. So if you reach level 50, B. This is where you can unlock the curse abilities for prayer. And so also you need to do a quest called the Temple of Sanctuarius. And that quest is actually a lot harder to actually attain because you do need to do a whole bunch of sub quests. Actually, first before you do the Temple of Sanctuarius and unlock these cursed abilities. These for prayer. These 4 ones are really good. Reflect magic, reflect range, reflect melee, and reflect necromancing. That's a new one. Okay? Reflect magic is actually based on your prayer level. So if you have 99 prayer, you can deal 50% attack. So that's like 65 level, but it's actually 100% of attack from the enemy. Okay, so it's related by your level. And then they also have this one. So they have soul split, and then these 3 for range, magic, and melee. Also necromancing. Torment, extinction, turmoil, aggression, and torment. And then I have Solar too. That's for necromancing. Soul Split is like a reverse. You deal damage to enemies, you heal your back self up. I believe it's based on what kind of armor you're wearing. So if you're wearing tank armor, you're actually absorbing all the life points to yourself from enemies. If you're wearing power armor, you're actually dealing damage to enemies, and you're actually taking less health from enemies. So yeah, I believe that how they do it. There with soul split. Okay, and a lot of the abilities for prayer actually lock by quests. So choose wisely when you're doing prayer. And then also, if you want to level up your prayer, you need brave bones at the altar. You can do bones, you can do ashes. It's up to you. Okay? Yeah. Last one, summoning. Summoning is actually based on familiars. So it's actually high. What kind of familiar you actually summon and that sort of thing. So there's different kinds of familiars in the summoning skill. Yeah, and each familiar has different kinds of special abilities and that sort of thing. Like level 99, you can unlock the Steel Titan. And so, if you go to the RuneScape wiki, it'll tell you what kind of abilities these familiars actually use. And some of them are based on combat, and some of them are based on skilling. And then I think that should be it. When you do level up your summoning, you do get a combat level. This is actually where I was talking about the combat level. So it's related by how many levels you have fighting combat. At the max level of combat is actually 138, but 154 if you have 120 necromancing. So yeah, I think it goes up by 1 level over when you level up your necromancing. I believe so, or is it every 2 levels? Because 120 for 154. I believe it's actually every one level. Tell me in the comments if that's true. Okay. And then I believe that's actually pretty much it. Indeed, so I think submarine's actually more expensive than prayer, because prayer all you do is just bury bones, indeed so, and the more expensive bones actually is dragon bones. I think it's those gemstone dragon bones. They're actually more expensive. For submarine, you need actually ingredients like the pouches, the shards, and then that third item. And some of the items are actually pretty expensive, but the shards actually more expensive because each familiar to actually make costs a lot of shards. The Sierra Titan costs 170 shards. The Pakiak is actually 211 shards, and this is actually a Beast of Hidden familiar, which actually hold items from the familiar. And then also there's the Sibian Titan, and so yeah, it's more expensive than prayer. Yeah, so clearly, submarine is actually the very expensive skill for combat. Okay, to train actually, and I think that's actually pretty much it. It's for all of them. So I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and let you know that much about combat. Just a little about it, not a lot. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Join Cheetah Ravens. Do follow me on all my social media accounts, and I'll see you next time. Bye. I love RuneScape. It's the best of times. I grind hard for those level 99 climbs.